Next, my name is Vineet Malhotra. While one team has remained focused on playing the World Cup, another one has resorted to boycotts, press conferences, and of course, a lot of unsavory stuff which does not fit, the standards of cricket, and that's exactly what Pakistan has been doing. We're going to continue to talk about this and a lot more. Joining us on the program at this point in time is Mr. Sunil Yashkalra, who's a cricket scholar. Noel David, former Indian cricketer, also with us on the program. AKS Satish, former sports editor of Gulf News, joins us as well. And Mr. Sunil Doshi, cricket commentator and expert, is also with us on the broadcast. Gentlemen, I'll begin speaking to you, but before that, in fact, let me go to the big screen and set the tone of what India and Pakistan are getting into. This clash is of immense importance. This is not just about India's victory, but this is also about India's dominance. So, India are the current champions. India versus Pakistan, the overall head-to-head record in T20 internationals has been 14 have been played. India has won 11, Pakistan has won 3. So, obviously, there is this huge gulf between these two teams when it comes to performance and caliber. In fact, India in World Cups have played 8 matches in which India has won 7. Pakistan has won just 1 match out of these. Most runs is, of course, King Kohli himself with 492 runs. There is a switch that turns on in him whenever he's playing Pakistan, and that's what India has always relied on. Hardik Pandya, of course, has picked up 13 wickets. The all-rounder Hardik Pandya, who has battled injuries in the past, but this time seems to be, out of that kind of a mold. Highest individual score in a match is Virat Kohli, 82 runs not out in 53 balls, and of course that's an amazing feat that has been achieved by Virat Kohli. For Pakistan, best bowling figures in a match is Mohammad Asif, the retired Mohammad Asif. He's picked up 4 wickets with the economy of 18 runs, which is considered absolutely stellar. But he's not around. But of course, we have to set the record straight and show you what all has transpired so far. So, this match that India and Pakistan are going to be playing, it's marred in a lot of controversy. There's been a lot of run-up that's happened, and there is, of course, a lot of history when it comes to both these nations. But what we are learning at this point in time, Sunil Yashkalra, is that the weather in Colombo, where the match is slated to happen, is not going to be that permissive. There is a 93% chance of precipitation. So I would be holding on to my bets when it comes to India versus Pakistan, but that is something that is not in our control. What is in our control is to talk about how bad Pakistan is when it comes to India. Both the teams have come into this tournament, or rather this third game that they're going to be playing, with victories. But India has struggled against the United States. India has also struggled against Namibia, if I'm not wrong. These are smaller teams, but couple of guys whose form and health was also in question, including Abhishek, has now picked up, and that perhaps can be considered a silver lining, Sunil.
Well, absolutely. Vinny, thank you for having me on your show, and 3 legends sitting alongside. One has played there, one has done the commentary from there, and the third one has done filing from there. So we all know exactly what Sri Lanka is capable of doing. It is actually, the rains can start any moment, and there's a lot of humidity. I speak to friends there, and it is a strong cause of concern. Whenever India plays down the overs, lesser overs, bigger problems for India against anyone. Second big problem I see, when you saw the match against USA, they were clampering onto your top 2 batters. First 4 deliveries, they were bang on target. Ishan Kishan was completely constricted by the accuracy of the ball, short ball coming inside the rib cage. That is always a problem for the first hand. But again, I think the world has found somewhere the restrictions that Indian top 4 batters can have, and Pakistan seems to have 1 or 2 big fast bowlers there who can not only constrict them, also get them out. And this is the third cause of worry. Once you look at the problems, you lose wickets 3 in cluster, the game becomes open, and even for both the teams. Over to you, Vineet.
All right, fair enough. Mr. Doshi, it's a mouth-watering treat to watch India and Pakistan play any kind of a match. So far, the run-up to the match has been nothing short of tumultuous. Are we going to see, all of that tension being settled on the ground tomorrow if, the match takes place?
Yeah, I think India versus Pakistan is always a great match to watch. I mean, maybe that Pakistan is lagging behind in terms of quality for last so many years because India has been defeating them quite regularly all over the world, not only in countries in Asia, but outside also. So Pakistan cricket has fallen down, but still the emotions run high when India plays Pakistan. But this time around, the match is in Pakistan, in Colombo, and Colombo is the place where the wickets are easier. Wickets are, slower in terms of, helping spinners rather than fast bowlers. So I think they are more relying on their spinners. But ultimately, T20 cricket is one quality of cricket which is mainly based on how you start your innings, the first power play. India has been doing well since Abhishek Sharma was doing magnificently throughout. But last few innings, we had seen that he was failing. So once he fails, the pressure comes on the later on batsmen and they can't keep that scoring run rate afloat. So that is the problem. So India is put under great pressure because Virat and Rohit are not there. Experience is not there. The exuberance of youth is there, but experience is not there. So that is going to come handy for Pakistan when they come to face India. But ultimately, I think India is the stronger side. They are the favorites. And Pakistan has cause to be worried because they are under pressure all the time.
Noel, what's your reading of this match? One duel that I'm looking forward to is, of course, Sahibzada Farhan versus Jasprit Bumrah. Perhaps he's the only batsman who's been able to somehow deal and maneuver his style and his play when it comes to Bumrah's, efficiency and even his eccentricity against Pakistan.
Of course. To be very honest, I think we'll be missing the service of Virat Kohli. Let's be very honest, because the last World Cup what he has played, the fright what Pakistan had, I think this time there will be a little behind it. But cricket has to go on without the two legends, Virat and Rohit. But we have a good side. We have a very balanced side for what the Pakistani has. As Joshi sir has said, correctly has said that the wickets will be helping the spinners, and we lack in that department. We are not able to play the spinners where in the middle overs, that is essential. I think there we have to be a little careful because they got a strong bowling side, the Pakistani, especially in the spin attack. So I think there is the gray area of the Indian batting order. Otherwise, I think this thing what they are getting for this game, I think it's beyond anything what we can imagine. People across all over the world, all corners of the world will be glued to the TV. People have come down to watch this game because this is the biggest clash. India-Pakistan means it's a big clash. So I think it's going to be a great game to be watched. I'll be glued to the TV because I need to know what's happening with this thing. But officially, this is going to be a hell of a lot of game, and I don't think till the last ball, if the match is played, the full match, I think we'll have an interesting game ahead if the rain doesn't interrupt on and off.
If it doesn't rain, Sunil, there is a chance of high humidity in this part of the world as well. It's going to be difficult for spinners, especially the ace in the spade for Pakistan, like Abrar Ahmed, who will be looking to trouble Indian batsmen. And let's also talk about Abhishek. He did have a stomach issue, if I'm not mistaken. He is going to be coming back. How are you looking at the team's reliance on him? He's obviously a go-getter. He's obviously somebody who wants to hit the ball, from the word go. How do you think that these two positions will impact the match? First is, of course, the humidity, and second is, of course, Abhishek's form.
Well, let's talk about Abhishek's form. I think he's in a splendid form. He can come in any moment. In fact, I saw him 15-20 days ago at Sharjah Cricket Stadium practicing with Yuvraj Singh along with Sanjay Samsung. It was a great sight for the connoisseurs that the legend was teaching two of his best pupils. Coming back, India has got such a raw power that even Abhishek Sharma doesn't play. India has good ample backup, and that's what gives a lot of strength to the Indian batting. Second, humidity. I think when it comes to humidity, there's a lot of toll on the body. The body runs hard, and Sri Lanka is a different thing altogether. You must realize India is playing the first match, Pakistan is playing, including the warm up match, they are playing their third. So they are quite used to in the last 7-8 days. Fourth important factor, this is not a 200 plus pitch. So anything above 158, 165, batting first is a very good thing. And chasing a 155-60 runs will be a mammoth task, considering that Indians have a straight bat swing and the ball is going to stop, slide and spin, and that's where the problem begins. I think Noel David, who's played in Sri Lanka, will be able to answer about the humidity factor and the pitch. So it gives you a different perspective. But for me, statistically, India looks little challenged here.
But that's exactly what we expect, Mr. Doshi. Some kind of a competition between these two. So far the matches that we have seen against Pakistan, pretty much a walkover. But let's also talk about Ishan Kishan, who has been in red hot form. He's not been able to cross that elusive 50. How do you think he's going to be taking advantage of the power plays against Pakistan?
I think power play is the most important, because 6 overs of power play where only 2 fielders are beyond 30-yard boundary, beyond 30 line. So that is where you have to score runs. If India can't score runs during that period, if you lose 2-3 wickets early in 6 overs, then India will have problems. But another thing is this, that their spinners, Tariq and all that, that with round arm action, he stops before the delivery. So it is one of those things like Erasmus troubled India. When India played the other match the other night, Erasmus troubled Indian players with that round arm action. The action comes from the, more like Thompson kind, so that is the problem, the Indians will have a major problem negotiating with it, because ball doesn't come from the eye line. The spinners, when they bowl close to the ears, it comes through the eye line. So that is easier to locate. But India has so much of experience, and so much, it was just said that India has at least 6 players who can take the match on their own hand, and change the entire scenario of the match. 6 players, the other teams have 2 or 3 players, but India has 6 players who can change the complexion of the game anytime, on single-handedly, virtually.
Noel, what about the captain Suryakumar Yadav? Though he did score 84 not out against the United States, he was struggling against Namibia. Noel, he was struggling.
You're quite right. Yeah.
One second, sir. Let me rope in Noel into this conversation as well. I'll come to you next. Suryakumar Yadav has struggled, in this format, though he was 84 not out against the United States. He got out on 12. He's struggled against Pakistan, specifically in T20 internationals. I think he has about 112 odd runs in 8 games against Pakistan, and he's still waiting for that elusive 50. Against Pakistan. Do you think he will be eager to leave a mark, against Pakistan?
I think that will be a gray area where the captain against the Pakistan has not scored what we all expected, especially in his own T20 format. I think if you see the series against the New Zealand, if you see the match against the USA, he's been in a great form. And I feel that this match, he will play a key role, especially when it comes to the spinners, because he comes in the middle where the spin attack is in flow. I think he has to understand that his role has to be very defined and very keenly poised. That's more important, because his runs for the country is important, because as if you don't get the runs, then it will become a biggest problem, because 170, 175 at Premadasa, Colombo will be a winning score, because nothing lesser than that, then it becomes a problem, because it becomes easy. But as for me, Suryakumar Yadav will be a gray area, because we need runs from his bat, especially against the Pakistanis.
Uh, Sunil, Pakistan also has a trump card in Usman Tariq, who's got this unique action of pause and sling. Do you think he's going to be a threat when it comes to that slow attack against India? And do you think to offset him, Varun Chakravarti is going to be the nemesis there?
Well, both of them have two different approach, but all I can say is that this boy Tariq you're talking about has worked here in Dubai, and he was a salesman. Well, what a story that he has! Stop sling and stop start kind of a thing. Of course, it will cause a problem. Remember Ajanta Mendes when he came in with his carrot
I was
ball,
going to say,
Sunil Narayan.
in fact, Ajanta Mendes, whom I had in mind, people could not figure him out. But that was only for the first few months that people could not figure him out. Once people figured him out, he was taken to the cleaners in every match.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, Indians don't meet often the Pakistani players. So once in a while, you'll definitely get someone or the other. You will also, if you remember the 2011 World Cup semi-final, you had one or two. You had the Afridis, you had the Hafiz, the off-spinner who was also later in called for chucking. So you do get people with various novelty. But here, I'm saying again that if the match is curtailed, India will get into problem. Point number two, Suryakumar Yadav did not score that elusive 50. We've spoken to him off the camera. He says, thank God his batting didn't come. Otherwise, he would have shown. Also, you must realize that Suryakumar Yadav is not an all-rounder. So what he makes up for what he loses in batting, he makes up in those amazing catches. Remember the catch that got India the World Cup trophy. So coming back, Suryakumar knows his limitation and is very happy playing the second fiddle or the fifth fiddle as a pillion rider onto the top four batters India has. Again, as I conclude, I must say, Indian top five batters have the highest strike rate of all time in the World Cup as you compare the Indian batters as to the others. Lastly, but not the least, remember there are two teams which are on the verge of elimination. Australia is one of them, and England may be the other one because they took one game lightly and they lost the plot. India has to go in with all the concentration and
well, it just sounds very unbelievable to me, Sunil, that you're using two teams like Australia and England being knocked out from any tournament. It just sounds very, very unlikely. Mr. Doshi.
But it's true, they're on the verge of elimination if you look at it from the points table statistically and the way they've performed. But it's good that the associate nations are coming. Over to you, Vineet.
All right, some breaking news also coming in. Suryakumar Yadav's big statement when asked about the handshake with Pakistan team. He says, leave it for tomorrow. You sleep well tonight and see what happens tomorrow. This comes after Pakistan captain said that cricket should be played in the right spirit. Mr. Doshi, let's also talk about whether India is going to continue with the same setup of players that they've had in the last two matches. Is Sanju Samson going to be replaced? Will they get in Kuldeep Yadav, who has done extremely well against Pakistan? He's got 8 wickets, if I'm not mistaken, in 3 games, all during the Asia Cup.
Yeah, I think Kuldeep Yadav will be a trump card for India, like Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav, because Pakistani batting lineup is not, very accustomed with Kuldeep Yadav's kind of spin. His the Chinaman and top spinner and googlies are difficult to locate. We have seen it last time that he has puzzled the Pakistani batsman and is ready to do it again. And I have seen he keeps it reserved, especially against Pakistani batters. And Varun Chakravarti has been a baffling bowler all through. We have seen in last few matches. I mean, he's such a precious bowler for India. Like his top spinners, his googlies are difficult to locate by Pakistanis also and by other oppositions also. He's going to be a trump card for India if India wants to win this World Cup once again. So in all, I would say that Pakistan is a little bit better equipped in terms of spin bowling and bowling department, while Indian batters are much better than Pakistani batters. So in fact, it's a confrontation between top-class Indian batting and a better class of Pakistani bowling. But I think India, given the situation that Indians are more experienced, They play more T20 games than anybody in the world, like IPL and other number of leagues being played in India. They've got more firepower in their batting, and they have proved it time and again. And against Pakistan, they reserve their special performance, especially looking at the opposition, and they like to put it across Pakistan every time, and they have got the habit of putting it across Pakistan in last so many years. So this is going to be a habit for them to beat Pakistan once again.
Noel, oftentimes we have seen that Pakistan does get carried away under the weight of its own insecurities when they play India. And this mammoth record, especially when it comes to World Cups that has existed between these two countries, does that play on a player's mind when you enter the field?
Of course, especially when you're playing against the Pakistani or the Pakistanis playing against the Indian, the pressure mounts a lot because you need to perform. You have to go out there and perform because there are a million of people watching you when you play against the Pakistanis. So the pressure mounts, and when the pressure mounts, you are bound to do a mistake here and there, and that will cost dear a lot. So I think as a player, when I played the Pakistanis, when you go out there, the crowd chanting, and the people expecting out of the performance out of you, naturally you start, sweating a lot in your hands, the preparation starts coming out. So that's the time, you don't know what to do as a bowler. I think, but these guys, the new Indian team, they have gone so used to all this that they are beating Pakistan so many times, especially in the World Cup. It is 7-1, 7-8-0, if I'm not mistaken, in the World Cup. And I think this is nothing new. They know the conditions are different. From home to Sri Lanka, the conditions are different. They need to go there. They must have adapted during the practice sessions. They know the Pakistani sides very well. They know the bowling attack. So I think it is now the preparation of execution for tomorrow's game is important. I think the staff, GG, along with the fielding coach, with the other staff, they must be preparing the team very well. Not to bother about it. It is matter of 3 to 3.5 hours of play. You need to be focused. Get past the line when it really matters. That is most important. Don't think about X, Y, Z. What people are going to think. This is a game. Winning and losing doesn't matter, but how we play it, that is great. See,
all right.
Ultimately, it is a game of true spirit.
You're absolutely right. Big news coming in. Abhishek Sharma is back and firing in the practice session tonight. Suryakumar Yadav, when asked about whether he will play, and on Salman Ali Aga's statement wanting Abhishek to play, says that if everyone wants Abhishek to play, he will play. Sunil, T20, of course, cricket is a team game, but it all adds up when individual performances are accelerated and are exciting and are dedicated, and that's exactly what we have seen for India as well. The team effort aside, that is always laudable, but it's the individual spirit that also comes handy, and how you handle your emotions when you're playing against Pakistan is what matters, correct?
Well, my only concern after listening to everyone and Noel David is that I fear that the law of averages should not climb up to India, because they've been winning a lot, and 8-0 is a great number to have. But at the same time, I shudder to think if it's a rain curtailed match. I shudder to think if there's too much spin in the thing and Pakistan is going with 4 spinners, 3 spinners. I think that's when the problem starts, because Indians have a great swing of arm when it comes to batting, but when the top edges and the missed time hook or everything that falls into place, I think luck will have to play a chance here. India should get a wake-up call 24 hours before, because there's so much of pressure right now on handshake, no handshake, playing, no playing, compensation, come to this. So I think the players, what must be going on, players' mind must be enormous, and that shouldn't catch up with 3.5 hours of cricket play in the center. That's what the fear is, and law of averages.
Okay, we've run out of time, but let me interpret your law of averages in another sense. We are going to go on the semantics here. Law of averages for India perhaps should mean that the Pakistani team is average, so that's the law. and that's how they should take them. We are up against an average team, and India is, of course, a superlative performer here. Would like to thank everybody who joined in. Noel, Mr. Doshi, and Sunil, thank you so much for your time. And of course, it's going to be a cracker of a game tomorrow. If the rain is going to play a spoiled sport, we might have a truncated game at our hands. And in that kind of a scenario, I think it's the pacers who will get to decide what happens, not the spinners. We'll take a short break now. We'll be right back.